I am Gina Vance. Oh, okay. Recording in progress. Cool. I'm Gina Vance, somatic hypnotherapist and developer of somatic mindful guided imagery, or SMGI. And as part of my work with clients, I tell them stories. And today I have a story to share with you. So 30 years ago, when I was 33, I was a lighting engineer. And one of the jobs I was called out to was at a funeral home in the Central Valley. And when I arrived, the sign was broken and half hanging down. So the foreboding begins. When I went in to meet the person that I had scheduled to meet, there was no one at reception. So I sat down on a nearby bench just to wait. And before I know it, there comes this cacophony of wailing from behind a closed door next to where I was sitting on the bench. And then through the door bursts this beautiful young Asian man, and he's sobbing, and he sits next to me and he asks me, "Did you know him well?" Not well," I said. So that was awkward, to say the least. And that gave me the courage to get up and go wandering around this scary place to look for the guy I was supposed to meet. So I find the first open doorway, and I approach that doorway to find that it's an empty room, like 12 by 12, with no floor, just dirt. And they've got like a 1 by 12 plank from threshold to threshold. So I'm walking the plank, feeling like hands are going to come up out of the dirt any moment and grab my ankles. When I get to the other side, there's this jolly fellow with Coke bottle thick glasses and one eye that looks in some other direction. And upon witnessing my state of unease, I saw him immediately shift down from jolly to hushed funeral director mode, which slightly embarrassed me. But anyway, he showed me the room full of caskets that were between $12,000 and $20,000 each. And they were lit up horribly by these open fluorescent tubes like you might see in a garage. And oddly, each of these caskets had a little slip of paper where it was typewritten, something to the effect of, "This casket will not preserve remains." And by the way, where the corner where the inexpensive urns were for the ashes, he didn't want me to add any special lighting there at all. So he toured me around the place, including rooms where dead people were laid out for all to see. And at that time, I hadn't really seen any dead people before that. And the nickel-sized mole on the face of one of the dead women laying there has been permanently seared into my mortified brain. I was only 33. Well, I left those caskets lit up like jewelry boxes with very special focal lighting, and I left them looking so good and valuable that I got referred to another funeral home where a chatty receptionist complained to me about the problem with black widow spiders living under the couches that were strewn about for the bereaved to rest upon after laying their loved ones to rest. So I've come a long way into comfort around death and around spiders since these 30 years. And not just that I'm comfortable with and grateful for the people that are sent to me with terminal diagnoses, helping them use their mind-body connection to bring peace to their journey, whether their journey ends in remission or transition. And some years ago, I realized I am kind of a death worker in a way, because people come to me to create change, and all change is a kind of death or a transition where you move from one state of being to another state of being, lighter and freer. And I got really clear on this when I had a wellness center with about 12 practitioners of various wellness modalities. And at one of our monthly practitioner meetings, a few of the practitioners shared that their clients had said to them, "Well, I don't have to go to Gina Vance, do I?" And we all had a good laugh and a chuckle, but then
2 minutes.
Oh, thanks. I thought to myself, well, why are people scared to go to Gina Vance? I'm kind, I'm warm, I'm friendly, gentle. Why? Why would people be afraid? So I immediately went into my office and sat down and meditated upon that question. And I got a very clear response that has seemed to last the test of time, that there are 4 universal fears. And one is that I will feel, and I might be overcome by my feelings and not be able to come back from them. The other is I will change, and I may lose people or things in my life that I'm really not ready to let go of. The third is I'll know the truth of who I am. And I'm afraid that the bad things that I've been told about myself or learned about myself, my worst fears about myself, I might find that they're true. And then where will I be? I'll have no hope. And the fourth, believe it or not, is I will cease to exist, because all change is a kind of death. The caterpillar ceases to exist once it becomes a butterfly. And so I found that these fears do indeed tend to be universal when it comes to inner work. And yet, daily, I work with souls courageous enough to risk going in. And when they do, they're rewarded with an experience of the beauty and power that lives inside of each of us. So a great referral for me is someone who's like an exquisitely marked caterpillar, who's ready to change into a free and light butterfly. You can find me at ginavance.com.